Hey, welcome to Valley Mobile Automotive. I wasn't going to make a video, but I thought, this may help somebody. 2013 Chrysler Town and Country, we're going to be replacing the thermostat. First thing we want to do is remove the serpentine belt. We don't want coolant all over the belt and then that'll ruin it. You'll start to get a squeak. So we'll jack the vehicle up, we'll pull the passenger tire off, that's the right hand side front tire, so we can get access to the serpentine belt tensioner. So I already took it off, but there's this shield right here, this plastic shield that has one clip there by my thumb. Let me pull it out. Two 10mm bolts up top, and then one other clip down below in the front. That's it, so two clips, two bolts, and then this just comes out of the way. Then that gives us access to our tensioner. Let me shed some light on the subject. So right there is a slot for a 3/8 ratchet, and you want to turn it counterclockwise. So if you have your ratchet on off, that'll point you in the right direction. And then just pull your belt off. I'll post the belt routing just in case you need it, but that's it. So that's taking the belt off. Now we can go up top, work on the thermostat. So now up top, if you follow the upper radiator hose down and around, it goes into our thermostat housing. We can see the thermostat plastic housing there. So that's what we're changing. We're changing the whole housing with the thermostat. Now I've already changed this one, but I'm just gonna show you how to get access to it and how to do it. To get better access, we'll pull this 13mm bolt off here. This little wiring harness will pop off. And then you can pull these plugs off just to give this harness a little more flexibility. That's up to you. If you find that you're needing it, just go ahead and pull those two plugs out. Let me get this off, and then this whole reservoir will just get pushed to the side. You can use a bungee cord and just bungee it off to the side, but that'll open up this whole space here. So now you can see I have the reservoir out of the way. With the cap on, it's not gonna drip, so don't worry about that. You can see I just have it bungee corded with a small bungee cord out of the way, and that opens up a lot of room. Don't worry about pulling that hose clamp off yet. We'll wait on that until we get the thermostat off and then up and out of the way. So at this point, it's two 10mm bolts, one up top, one on the bottom. Pull those off and the thermostat can just get pulled out. Now you'll drip a lot of coolant, so make sure you have your coolant pan underneath. But you don't need to pre-drain the coolant before you do this. Just let it drip out of the thermostat housing. You'll lose about half a gallon or less, or at least I did. So it's a good amount of coolant, but not a crazy amount. If you leave the radiator cap on while you're pulling that off, then it'll prevent or slow down how much fluid can gush out. If this is off, then it'll flow a lot more freely. So if you leave this on, that can help control some of the flow. So I'm not gonna pull that back off because I already pulled it off, but I'm gonna show you, if you pull that off, bring this whole upper radiator hose out from this area. It's very flexible. You go underneath this power steering hose and just pull it through and up. Then you can get that hose clamp off a lot easier out here, put the housing back in, and then route it back through and bolt it back on. Otherwise, you're kind of fighting some room, get pliers on it. In this position, it's kind of frustrating. So just pull the whole housing and hose up and out. It'll stick out, right above the washer fluid reservoir. So it's not gonna come way out, but up enough, and then you'll have access to that clamp. That's it. Then put the new one on. This is what the housing looks like. No doubt, you know what it looks like because you have the replacement one. But if you notice on the housing side, there's that little bump, and there's another little bump here. Those bumps will actually put an imprint in the hose. So now you know how to orient the thermostat housing to get it right back in, so when you put it back down, you don't have to readjust or re-angle anything because it's right in the angle that it was before because of these humps. You'll see it when you pull it off, and you'll go, oh, okay, that's what he's talking about. Because you put the hose clamp, you take it off up here and put it back on up here before you put it back down. I think that's it. Once you have it on, bolt it down, then you just put this back in its spot, tighten that back down, and put the serpentine belt back on, and you're done. All right, there you go. That's how you can replace a thermostat on a Chrysler Town and Country with the 3.6 liter. Doesn't take too long, maybe a half an hour total to run through everything. You want to top off the coolant in the radiator, start it up, let it warm up, turn the heater on, make sure that you're getting good heat inside, rev the engine up to about 3 grand, hold it there for a minute, let it drop for about a minute, raise it up again for a minute. Do that about 5 or 6 times. That'll burp the system, that'll bleed it out, and you should be good to go. All right, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. See you on the next one.